Hey, everybody. We're very excited to have Winchester in the studio with us today. We're going to talk about some of their new releases this year, some of their shells that have been around for a long time. Stay tuned.
Can we do a mic check, please?
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Ducks Unlimited podcast.
I'm your host, Dr. Mike Brazier.
I'm your host, Katie Burke.
I'm your host, Dr. Jared Henson. And I'm your host, Matt Harrison.
Welcome to the Ducks Unlimited podcast, the only podcast about all things waterfowl. From hunting insights to science-based discussions about ducks, geese, and issues affecting waterfowl and wetlands conservation in North America. The DU Podcast, sponsored by Purina Pro Plan, the official performance dog food of Ducks Unlimited. Purina Pro Plan, always advancing. Also proudly sponsored by Bird Dog Whiskey and Cocktails. Whether you're winding down with your best friend or celebrating with your favorite crew, Bird Dog brings award-winning flavor to every moment. Enjoy responsibly.
Welcome back to another episode of the Ducks Unlimited podcast. We have an incredible partner in the studio with us today. But today, my co-host will be John Gordon, media manager of media productions.
There you go, Jimbo. You got it.
Finally got it. Mr. Jimmy Wilson. And no, he's not my brother, but Nathan Robinson from Winchester. We're so glad to have you guys here.
Likewise. Happy to be
thanks
here.
for having us.
So you want to give us a little bit about kind of what you do at Winchester before we get started?
Yeah, sure. So I'm the shot shell product manager. So all of our new products, I'm quarterbacking those through the organization, making sure they're the right products for our consumers and making sure we get them out there in time for the season. So pretty important job.
Yeah, I think quarterback's a good description there because he's kind of in between manufacturing and sales and helping make sure we've got the right products in the marketplace at the right quantities, and is involved from everything from new product development to pricing to demand planning.
Wow.
Yeah. Keeps me busy, but it's a ton of fun.
And you also get to make fun of the guy that says that, you know, the shell doesn't work the right way. And you're like, you think it's the shooter? Like you did a minute ago?
Yeah, I mean, if it shoots, probably it's definitely not the shooter. Yeah. Or maybe it is.
Yep. Good times. Nathan?
Yeah, so I'm on the marketing side, and I am responsible for communicating about those products. So that's everything from media relations, working with writers and magazine editors, and then also going to events and being that face-to-face representative in front of the consumer.
Absolutely.
Then help with retail and everything that's outward-facing. I've got some role in trying to get the Winchester name out there.
Awesome. Well, I like to do a segment we call the flock shot here. I'm going to ask you a question, and we're going to bounce back and forth, and just you'll know the answer. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, if I don't know it, I'll make it up.
Chris, cue the button. Favorite color Gatorade?
Oh, blue.
Do you
Orange.
Do you know the name?
Nope, sure don't. I just know it is blue.
Yeah, I don't know any names.
I think orange is just orange.
All right. Semi-auto.
Do I get a point for that?
No. Semi-auto or over and under?
Oh, it depends on the situation, but if I just got to pick one, semi-auto.
Yeah, it depends on the species. For ducks, semi-auto for sure. For upland, over and under.
LeBron or Jordan?
Jordan.
That's kind
You see this gray hair in my beard? It's definitely
Illinois,
Jordan.
Yeah,
of course. Yeah.
I knew as soon as I asked that. All right. Brady? I'm going different today. Brady or Mahomes?
Don't know her.
He doesn't watch the NFL.
Brady.
Brady.
Yeah.
I don't even care about football. Sorry. That's hunting
Nathan
season.
only shoots.
Hunting season. I'm in the field.
All right. Well, I know
Hardcore.
where you are, but the last one, upland or waterfowl?
Waterfowl, of course.
Thankfully, the seasons are split for most part, so I do both. Hit deer, upland, and then waterfowl. Got to
your
rotate
favorite?
through. I've got a Brittany, but my
Enough
Brittany knows
said.
how to retrieve ducks.
John's excited over here.
That's enough.
My
said,
Brittany
you know.
retrieves ducks too, so
I went off into the English cocker world, man, which
Yeah.
is a very, very interesting place to be. You know, those little dogs. I don't know, man. I've never been around a bird ear dog. that English
Yeah.
cocker. They're just nutcase.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. A lot of personality.
Yeah.
All right, my final question that I always ask: bourbon or tequila?
Tequila.
Bourbon.
Nice. We got our first tequila answer.
Really?
I am excited. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go get
I'm
some
a tequila
ours.
guy.
Man.
But I well, thank y'all. You both pass, and I love doing the flock shot. Get to know a little bit. See, they weren't that bad.
I was nervous.
No, you shouldn't have been. Well, let's talk about Ducks Unlimited and Winchester, because we already had a little bit of debate in here about this partnership, and I made the mention of that we're coming up on 30 years, and it was like, yeah, maybe longer. I think the official documents say 30, but you know that it's been longer than that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's a lot of advertising even that you can tie to that shows some Ducks Unlimited and Winchester involvement. And what we're saying is, so John Olin was an owner of Winchester for a period of time. It was formed by Oliver F. Winchester. And then after World War I, there's some financial difficulties, and it was available for sale. And Olin bought them, and John was part of that, and then ran the company for a long time. And he's much of the brand of Winchester today because he was an avid outdoorsman. He was an engineer, so he was very interested in perfecting processes and making the ammo products the best they could be. But conservation was his passion. And he was part of a SAMI board, which actually was the first company or the first organization that supported what is the name of it? Aldo Leopold did some kind of big cross-country analysis to start the conservation movement, and that was while John was at the helm of SAMI, and they're the ones that funded that. And so his tentacles reach into a lot of different conservation groups, and we've been, staying there to support those throughout the years because it's critical to our business and to our customers, and we want to make sure there's lots of game into the future.
Long-time supporter, but I guess as much as we can find, we think that the partnership started in '96. We'll say the official corporate partnership in '96.
Now I'm going to have to go back to the library and start
You're going
digging.
to, I know, and it's exciting. I think that there's only that we kind of know of. There's really two brands that have consistently or consecutively been a partner since then. And from what I can find, War Eagle and Winchester. And I think when you look at those two brands in the industry, in the outdoor industry, it speaks a lot to y'all and your support of Ducks Unlimited. And we're excited to have y'all here today. And I know that the listeners are super excited to hear about the different waterfowl loads and kind of what you guys see for the 2025 season coming up. And I know I'm excited to hear y'all talk about them. So let's start going through maybe some of your favorites and let's go through the whole waterfowl line.
Yeah, sure. Let's get into it. So, let's start off with Expert Waterfowl.
The basic.
Right.
But I mean, to start off,
everybody's favorite.
There's a lot of products on the table
There
right
are.
now.
Yeah, there are.
And that can be a little bit confusing sometimes for people at retail. So we try to simplify it, and we'll go through those features and benefits today. But we have an option for every situation, every type of hunting scenario, and we're confident that somewhere in our line, there's a product that's going to fit the need.
And I think to a lot of waterfowl hunters, the Expert was where it started. I mean, I told y'all at lunch today, my dad, so for 31 years, he buys 12 gauge number 2 3.5 inch Experts from Max Prairie Wings. Been doing it for 31 years, and he goes opening the Friday before opening day in Arkansas every single year, and buys them. And that's all I can remember him ever shooting my whole life.
Awesome.
So
Yeah, that's great.
that's where it started.
I mean, Expert just flat out works. So it works time after time, and you can trust.
And he'll tell you
can
that,
trust it
too.
to work. Yeah.
He will tell you all about it.
Yep. And the value, you can't beat it.
No.
So it's 100% American-made shot shell, works great, brings birds down, just dependable, right? So, yeah, it's an awesome product. I mean, we have our Drylock wad system in Expert even just to give it extra water resistance because it's a waterfowl load, right? Like you're going to get your shells wet. You might take a dip in the water on accident and some stuff gets wet, but we've got that Drylock system in there to help keep that water out of the shell.
Might be a good time to go ahead and introduce what Drylock is, because that's a technology we have in a lot of our products. And so for those that don't know what it is, maybe give them a quick lesson on that.
Yeah, sure. we were prepared for this, right? So we cut the shell open earlier. So you know what? We might have trouble getting out of here, but
when did the Drylock technology first come about, Nathan? I'm trying to think about it. It was in the 90s, wasn't it?
yeah, it would have been when Drylock was introduced. It would have been part of that. So
1993.
93.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because I remember before that there was a lot of problems with shot shells getting wet, right? They wouldn't fire.
Sure.
well, we can try to dig it out of this shell. Yeah.
Be careful.
I
And
know.
we were
If I cut
talking
myself, yeah.
We were talking about expert
like a
there
razor
too.
blade.
That was
Using
introduced
that at
in
your own risk.
2006 is when we started expert. Prior to that, it would have been like a Super X.
All right, I'm going to show my age. When did the mass steel go through? When was lead made?
It was
Illegal.
Most of nationwide, I think, was by 1991.
By 91, okay.
Yeah, and but I had to shoot steel shells in the first steel shot zone in America. It was 1983
83.
on the east side of Houston. Yeah, Dover near
Texas was first, right?
Texas was first. It was here the Anahuac National Wildlife Refuge.
Yep.
That land right there was the first steel shot zone in America. All came about. There's a biologist, the Texas Waterfowl program leader, Charles Stutzenbecker. He was the first one. He kept running across ducks having problems and being sick and dying. And he really was the first guy to really correlate the lead shot in that marsh to what was affecting those birds. And so that's where it all started, was there.
Wow. So when did Winchester make the first steel waterfowl load?
So we were part of the initial testing to develop recommendations on steel shot. We worked with a guy named Tom Roster and did a bunch of testing on patterns and lethality because it was a new world for hunters and the ammo makers at the time. And so that's where we learned that density matters a lot and shot size has to adjust based off of the density. And so we were one of the very first products that was available commercially.
Wow. All right.
And it wasn't that long ago, so there still is a lot of information online about that.
Yeah. Drylock.
We got it dug out.
All right.
Yeah. So it was tough to get out because it presses out against the tube, right, to help seal it. So if you ever recover one of these from the field or whatever, if you take a look at it, this is the wad that's underneath the shot cup. So it's kind of hard to see. Maybe I can get a profile there, but it's shaped like an automotive seal where it has basically a lip, and that lip presses out against the side of the hole to just keep water out. So that's going to keep your powder dry, right? So that's very important in a waterfowl load. We use this style wad in basically every waterfowl load we have, or a variation of the style with that lip seal design.
So the Drylock shell's still available?
Oh yeah. Yep.
And I'm going to ask questions just because I want to, dig deep into this. But because Drylock was a shell when I remember the Drylock shell being a big shell, and that technology, that whole thought process being like it was a supreme.
It was revolutionary.
Shell. It was.
Really, when it came out.
If you could afford Drylock, you had made your own money. It's kind of how my dad said it.
All right.
Back in the day.
I mean, it's used back then and now, premium round steel, precision ground steel that's zinc plated for corrosion resistance. So that's part of that whole Drylock system. So you've got, corrosion resistant plated steel shot. It's precision ground, so it's going to fly very true, pattern great. Then you've got that Drylock double seal wad. And then additionally, we use a lacquered primer in Drylock loads just to add more water resistance to the back end of that shell too, to keep water from infiltrating in through the primer.
Is that the difference in the Drylock and the Expert?
Yeah, pretty much. The Expert doesn't get that sealed primer, and it doesn't have plated steel shot. So you get the wad though, where most of the water is going to try to infiltrate in. Right, the primer's it's a press seal, press fit with the primer pieces going together. So it's pretty tough to get water in through it there anyway. We go the extra mile on Drylock and our other premium waterfowl loads and lacquer that primer just to, prevent it even better. But really it's that wad that's really important in preventing water from coming through. So you get that in Expert. The shot that we use in Expert it's not perfectly round. Still flies really great. You do see, a percentage increase when you shoot Drylock, though. You do patterns and count pellets in circles, right, on paper. But we know it brings down ducks and geese every year. Actually,
No,
right?
Like,
there's
I
no
hear it.
question. Yeah.
Yeah. When he makes that shot, he will make sure to let us know. So, I mean, it does work.
Yep.
And it's like you said earlier, there's a budget for everybody.
That's right.
And when in the world that John and I work in, we want as many waterfowl hunters as we can get, and that's one thing I say is that there's an entrance into waterfowl hunting for everybody. And I remember as a kid being able to go and buy experts at Walmart, and that being a huge deal.
Yeah, and they were less than $10 a box.
I know. And so, all right, so we're moving on from expert. What's in your mind? What's the next? Where we go next?
Drylock would be the next step up in performance. So, we kind of touched on that plated steel shot. You got the full Drylock system with the wad plus the sealed primer. So, and then it's really that shot that differentiates it, though, right? The precision ground plated steel shot. So, and then from there, now we get into new products, right?
So that's carried the waterfowl industry for y'all for a long time.
Yeah.
And just stuck to what you knew. Well, then Blindside
we
came
had
along.
Blindside
We did have
introduced
Blindside,
in
yeah.
2006, I think, and that had a great run and a lot of rabid customers. We got a lot of feedback at DUX when they found out that we were discontinuing it, but we felt like it had made its run and we wanted to try some new technology. We've got a lot of new things in development all the time, and so with all this new stuff coming out, it didn't make sense to continue to support more than we needed. Make it too complicated.
I did not know that it wasn't coming back.
Now,
Sorry to break the bad news.
He's going to cry off camera, I think.
For those that like it, it is still available right now, so stock up.
It's a legacy product now.
Yeah, there's still plenty out there. So, yeah, if you're looking for it, it's still there to get, but not for long.
Well, I think from what I've heard so far, everybody's going to move on from Blindside.
Well, I'm just looking at these two loads right here that I'm really intrigued about. Last Call and Final Pass. That's really stepped into another realm, from as far as I can tell.
Absolutely
different. Just a different level.
Yeah, so Final Pass it's probably the next step up from Drylock in performance. It's built very similar to Drylock. We still have the Drylock wad in there, the sealed primer, and we use, again, precision ground steel shot. But we use blended payloads in Final Pass. So you'll either get a BB blended with a 1.5, so a half size shot, right? So it's in between a 1 and a 2, helps increase that pellet count a little bit more versus, using a 2 paired with that BB, you do a 1.5. Or so you're going to get more penetration with the 1.5. So more suited for geese, right? On the duck load side of it, though, you'll have a 2.5 paired with a 4. So that 2.5 is going to, increase your pellet count up from having 2s.
Y'all even changed the pictures of them on there on the front of the box. I was sitting here looking. I was looking at that one, and I was going, "Man, this is a goose load." And then, and I saw they've got the geese on there. That's really that.
It's attention to detail that matters, right? Like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's what caught my eye when I looked at both of these boxes. Outside of that, why the half?
Well, it helps.
Marketing. The marketing guy's smiling and laughing over here.
I call it the compromise, though.
I know what he's thinking.
It's in between. It's in between, right?
It's something different.
When you're talking to consumers, there's always this debate about what's the right shot size.
What is it?
And you can, have some long arguments over whether you should be using 2s or 4s, or in Arkansas, 3s are really popular. And so we've got all these different options. And even then, there's this decision at the register. Which one am I going to buy? So now you don't have to make a decision. You can get both. It's just blended in there together.
And I think John would agree. That debate is becoming more common now in Arkansas and in this area, right? I mean, this area, because of the opportunity that people have to shoot ducks and geese at the same time, and they're hunting in Arkansas for certain situations.
Yeah. You run in, especially in fields, right?
Right.
I mean, you run in inspection snows every duck hunt you make.
Yep. And so,
or you can just use the same shell for early teal and then your regular season and maybe even into Canada goose, and know that you've got, dense pattern because of the smaller shot size, but then you still got that heavy hitter with the larger.
And I think that 2.5, 4 fills that, right? I think that fills that.
That'd be a smoking teal load and big ducks, right?
For everything, right? That's because the 1.5 over here, right? And then you have the 2.5. They're not that far apart.
No. But the 1.5 is going to, increase your penetration a little bit over a 2, right?
Absolutely.
So, so it's more closer to that BB to, suit it more for, large ducks or geese.
In y'all's opinion, in your opinion? Why is the stacked shot? There's got to be, I understand the penetration and the double, but I've struggled for years trying to understand why all of a sudden the stacked load. Is it because more? Is it because
so stacked actually in Final Pass, that shot's not stacked. So if you look at the back, we have it intermixed in there, and we cut one open earlier. We can pull this out and dump the.
It's not stacked, but it's
blended.
It's blended. It fills more space. That's what you always heard was it fills more space.
You can increase your pellet count, right? So like that Final Pass has about 205 pellets in the payload versus like a standard expert 1 1/8 ounce number 2 steel is only going to have about 140 pellets. So you get quite a few more. So yeah,
two colors.
Yeah, so we've copper plated the half size shot. So if you find a copper plated pellet and you're shooting Final Pass, it's either a 2.5 or it's a 1.5. So and they're blended in there at about a 50-50 ratio. So nice and pretty.
Look how shiny it is.
It is.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work for us to polish each one of those by hand.
Yeah.
You got a bunch of elves in there, right? Sitting there.
Well,
It looks like jewelry though when you pour it out like that.
It does.
It does have a sparkle to it.
And that's
When I see them like that,
precision.
they're not that pretty. Most of the time, they've been on my tooth, or you pull one out when you're cleaning birds. But that's interesting. The two different colors.
Yeah, so the sizes aren't that far apart, right? So we wanted to find a way to, visually identify the difference. So the half size shots have copper plating. The standard shot sizes have the bright zinc plating. So both highly resistant to corrosion. So you've got the corrosion protection there if your shells do get wet.
Yeah, there is not.
I mean, they're like perfectly round. It's almost ball bearing grade.
Yeah, they're impossible to pick up.
Yeah.
That's interesting. There's not much, John, to.
No, we're between a 1.5 and a BB. Yeah.
No, is that what this one is?
This is the 2.5.
It's 2.5,
4.
Yeah, they're a little smaller.
Yeah, okay. You can definitely tell the difference in them looking at them this way. But it's not that different. You're right, and you, like I said, y'all done an amazing job with the
the pure
with the consistency of them, right? I mean, and that leads to better pattern.
Oh, it for sure does. Yeah. Yep.
Mesmerizing.
Well, but it's interesting. Talk about how perfectly round they are. When you roll them, everything is moving at it is very consistent. There's none going to the. It's
none
cool.
hang up and
right.
like
None
sit
hang
there
up
for a
and
second.
sit for. That's. I mean, I was just looking at because that's got to be something. That's a trust, right? To every shell every pellet is made exactly the same.
Yeah, I mean, we probably don't have to do that performance wise, but it's that detail that just
that's what Winchester's putting
wrings
into it.
all of the performance out of it, right?
The American legend says it on the
right.
marketing paperwork. I mean, it's what it speaks to is that it's years and years of learning.
Yep.
WAD technology, has it changed much in these?
No, not really. I mean, it's a standard 4-pedal wad. Now it is extra thick. All of our steel shot wads are extra thick. Just feel that there's not a lot of flex to it. You cut open a lead target load, it's going to have a flimsy wad in there. But we use an extra thick, high density polyethylene plastic to mold our steel shot wads, and that's to protect your gun from the steel pellets. That steel, it's hard, right? It's not going to deform. It's going to just push out when it tries to accelerate down the bore, and it's going to try to squeeze through that plastic wad. So we use that extra thick, high dense plastic to prevent any steel from contacting your bore so that it doesn't score your bore and, or ruin a choke tube.
And that is, I'm not going to say anything about anybody else's product, but that choke tube has become an issue with a lot of, I think as things are getting faster, people's technology and wads are changing, that I have heard the choke tubes becoming issues. So that's
we had a product that people complained about, right? And that was that diamond cut wad in Blindside. And when we went to Blindside 2, if you remember, we got away from that diamond cut wad because it was hanging up in studded chokes and causing, poor patterns. So we went to a standard Drylock wad in Blindside 2, and that alleviated that problem. We made some changes to the shot too, if you remember, to help aerodynamics there and still retain that square shape. That still gave you good patterns without the diamond wad, but then you could use any choke tube you wanted. So it's compatible with any choke. But I'm just trying to get to the point of that wad works in any choke.
And has that been the wad for a long time?
I mean, we have different wads across different products, and as technology changes, we make modifications. Like the diamond cut wad functioned really great out of some choke tubes because it was designed to keep the shot column together further out of the bore of the barrel. And so it was a different way to get to the same end result as the stripper or stud choke tubes. But they didn't go well together. And so if you had a special aftermarket choke, it might not like that style of wad, and that was causing problems with patterns for those people, so we simplified it. But there's different ways we can modify all the components to improve performance, and because of our scale, we're able to do that more than some of the competition because we're producing so much ammo and we have so many resources studying that every day.
And you can definitely feel the difference in this wad for sure.
Yeah, it's stiff.
Absolutely.
Yep. So we have different designs of this, but they all, use that same, technology. Thick pedals, high density plastic. We also, when we feed these into the loader, this is, not many people probably know this, but it comes in as just a solid wad. There's no pedals on it. And then we cut the pedals in on the loader. And the reason we do that is so that there's really no space between the pedals. If you were to mold those pedals in, there has to be a little gap there. Now you can design it to where they try to close up, but if you do it this way, there's really no gap that pellet can push through. It can try to push through that gap there, but it's not going to get far enough to do any damage to your barrel. So,
all right. The one that's been catching John's eye over here the whole time.
the last call, baby.
What a name. The last call that duck or goose is going to hear.
That's right.
Tell us about this incredible technology that y'all have.
But you kind of have to talk about both products,
right,
to introduce double shot since it's the newer one. We actually launched Last Call TSS last fall. There's a mouthful. Last fall, last call.
It's a tongue twister.
Yeah. And so the technology we're seeing that really got popularized by turkey hunters and integrating TSS into their loads and the performance enhancements that brings to the table. We thought we'd go ahead and bring it over to the waterfowl side. And we wanted to be able to say we have the best product out there. And it comes at a premium. It's not cheap, but it's the best materials, the best construction, and your best patterning and most lethal load available.
And I think for the general public, when TSS started, everybody thought it was a new brand in the ammo world.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was, what are you shooting? I'm shooting TSS. Well, what kind? TSS. No. So talk about the TSS technology and what it has to be considered TSS.
Yeah. So TSS stands for tungsten super shot, and that refers to a specific density of tungsten shot. So tungsten shot can have a density that ranges depending on how much tungsten is actually used to make the shot. That shot's an alloy of different powdered metals, basically. The more TSS you put, the more tungsten you put in that shot, the more density you pick up. So TSS shot has to be 18 grams per cc density. If it's less than that, it's not TSS shot. It's just tungsten shot with a lower density. But if you see TSS, that means that it's, the highest you can get, 18 grams per cc.
And is most TSS 18?
It has to be, right? It's
right.
If
Could
it's
it be
not,
higher?
You really can't get higher than that. The manufacturing process doesn't really allow for it.
Cool.
So 18 is considered the max. You can go less, right?
Yeah,
but
and
TSS.
We've been there too. That's the thing I don't think some people realize is we've had tungsten products in the past. TSS is newer to the scene. That's really been popularized in the last 5-6 years. But we've had tungsten products that have come and gone from our line because there's always changes in the marketplace and what people are willing to spend. And so we used to have a tungsten product and got rid of it. And it was,
it's called extended range. If you
said 12 grams per cubic centimeters, 14.
It was 12 or 13, yeah.
Somewhere in that range. So it wasn't as dense as the TSS that we're using now.
Yeah,
but
still tungsten
great
shot,
product.
but not TSS.
And that allows you to get that performance at or above the expectations of where you would see lead in the past. And so you used to be able to shoot a lot smaller shot size with lead, and then we had to shift to the larger steel, and now we're going back to the smaller shot size with products like bismuth and tungsten.
Yeah, I mean, for example, steel has a density of like 7.9. So you're with TSS, you're twice as dense.
Twice as dense, yeah.
Which means if you have the same amount volume-wise, it's going to weigh twice as much. So, and that lets you use smaller shot sizes that, you know, are more aerodynamic because they don't lose velocity when they're flying down range, so they're going to retain more energy. It's like a bus and a sports car going down a hill, right? Like the bus is going to slow down because it's got all that air pushing back against it. That's like a steel pellet. But a TSS pellet's like a sports car going down that hill. You know, with gravity pulling them down, that sports car is going to make it down there quicker. So
right. Do you have a one of the TSS?
Yeah. So
do I need to clear the plate here?
Yeah, or we can try to keep it separate. Then you can just pick them out one by one later.
I will.
I'm kidding.
I'm all over it.
So let's see. Double shot, is that just a single size pellet, and then last call is blended?
So last call is 100% TSS shot. Double shot is the stacked load, and so it uses a mix of TSS and steel, so that you get some of the benefits of tungsten, but it's not as expensive as the 100% load.
Gotcha. Okay.
There's a little bit of it in there, right?
Oh, yeah.
There it is. Those little bitty guys. They're hard to see. They're all mixed in here now, but they're hard to see.
Yeah, they hide behind the bigger pellets. So you talked about not being able to see much difference in shot size when you're looking steel to steel. There you can really see it. And those have very similar energies, but it's much smaller, so you have more pellets in your pattern.
So if we shoot gel with this load, that TSS is going to go about 5 to 5.5 inches in 10% ballistic gel, where that number 2.5 is going to go about 3.25 inches, maybe 3.5 inches. So you get substantially more penetration from that little pellet because it's so dense.
Chris, can we zoom in on this? Well, it is there on this plate, and it is.
It is hard to see.
It is hard to see.
Yeah, with those pellets.
But the density of that is what makes it what it is.
Right.
It makes it fly truer, I would assume.
Yeah, it's just as round as the steel. So the TSS shot, the way it's made, it's like precision ground as well. So it's very aerodynamic. What we see is when we do patterns, the TSS stays tighter. So if you pattern like final pass against last call double shot, you'll see a tighter grouping of pellets in the core of the pattern. So they both have about the same pellet count, actually. So if you compare, our 2.5 and our number 9 TSS pellet count to, the final pass 2.5 and 4, which is, steel blended with steel, the final pass has 205 pellets. The last call double shot has 210 pellets. And 30% of those pellets, will be those smaller TSS pellets.
Which gives it, even though, because obviously maybe that's just we didn't get the same shot size out, but those are bigger for sure.
I think the copper is the same.
Oh, the copper is the same?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is a 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, this would be the 2.5.
2.5, sorry.
Yeah, the 4s are over here. That's the bright silver. These are the 2.5s, and those are 9s. The TSS is 9s.
Sitting next to the TSS, they look so much bigger, but then when you
Right.
kind of slide them together, you're right.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You find one that escaped.
Yeah, one bounced off. It's amazing to think that.
Oh, I know it.
So we had talked a little bit about
power.
blend versus stacked before. This one is stacked because the size and density of the tungsten makes it fly at a different speed than the steel. And so you don't want the tungsten in the back because it'll actually push its way past the steel and open up the pattern.
Right.
And so we put the tungsten on last so that it's out front in the swarm, and the steel is going to slow down once you get to those extended ranges, and your shot string is going to lengthen a little bit, but it doesn't make your pattern any worse because they're not bumping into each other.
Well, I'm going to ask that. What range? Now I know, what range does that TSS really get out to?
you need to pattern your gun and choke tube combination to know what it's going to do,
answer.
but you can go well past 40.
Well past 40.
You know, I'll shoot pattern demos at 40, and if you look at the pattern density of your last call TSS, it's got range beyond 40. Whatever you're comfortable.
It's kind of interesting to look at the turkey world here because you routinely hear about people shooting turkeys at 70, 80 plus yards. And so it still has energy that far that can kill. We don't suggest it. Like
That's truly the golden BB or golden pellet, right? That people talk about.
well,
with
especially
so
on a
many-
fast moving bird.
Right.
I mean, that's the dynamics on waterfowl are a lot different. And
Absolutely.
so trying to shoot a moving bird that far away is not a good idea. But what it does do for you is, like, let's say you think the bird's a little closer than it actually is and you misjudged your distance, you're more likely to hit it at that further distance. So whatever your range is, we suggest you still stay at that normal range, and you're going to have tighter patterns. You're going to have increased lethality because of that penetration and energy. But then if you mess up and the bird's a little further away, you can have confidence that it's still going to do its job.
Yeah. Now remember, those turkey loads are all TSS, so more like last call TSS. So that's going to have much longer range capabilities than last call double shot. But as we said, you're talking $50 a box at 10 here, where here it's maybe $50 for 25. So a lot more
Big difference.
affordable.
Yeah.
So you may not have the same range, but you have almost the same range here, especially if you're comfortable with how your gun's shooting.
And John, I know that you kind of see this, but when you see people talking about that shot string, right, and that seems to be what people are talking about today when they're comparing shells. How far? What does that distance truly look like? Let's use 30, right? I like to tell my son that let's stay in that 30-yard range. How far apart does this TSS get from the copper?
You got a guess there? I don't know. I don't have that data committed to memory.
Well, I mean,
is it enough to matter?
Is it enough to matter?
You're talking
Probably not.
like
I
a
mean, the
flicker
TSS
of time because it's traveling so fast.
Right.
So if you measure it, it may look like it's a long string, but you're talking about fractions of a second before the next pellets hit. And so it really doesn't matter that much.
If you're going to miss, you're going to miss, I think.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The bigger thing is we don't want them bumping into each other at different velocities. And so you got to have it stacked to keep that pattern dense. Oh, one thing we didn't talk about that is really exciting is last call is available in subgauge. And so we've seen this huge interest, resurgence in subgauge, and you can get that in 410, 28, and 20 gauge. That's the last call TSS. And you've got a box of 20 gauge double shot there.
Yeah.
Pop that from the camera. So there's 20 gauge. We didn't bring any 410 or anything, but it makes a 410 a legitimate duck gun that's equivalent to like a 12 gauge steel.
I would say more than a 12 gauge steel. So
Is that you shoot that out of older guns?
Define
probably
older.
probably not advisable, right? I mean, a lot of those older guns don't have
So we're still
proof steel.
The bismuth is still the way to go with some of those older.
Yeah, I would. I mean, you could probably take limited shots with it, but I mean, if you have an older gun that's got sentimental value, you run the risk of ringing the end of the barrel. And I mean, like I've got an old A5 that I'd love to go hunt with, but I'm not going to send.
So don't take your old
that through
42 out there and shoot TSS out of it. Is what you're saying?
I wouldn't
Yeah.
advise it, especially if it has sentimental value. Yeah. So I mean, it's not like it's going to blow up the barrel, but it could ring the end, and
Yeah, and that would make me sick in my stomach.
Oh, I bet it
Yep.
would. Said here first on the Ducks Unlimited podcast. Don't take TSS to
Don't
your
take
old guns.
TSS in your old
Somebody's
guns.
going to send us an email and say that
No,
they
do it all the time.
last season.
oh, I'm sure.
I got a
I mean,
1931.
you
Whatever.
can get away with it, I'm sure. Yeah.
For a
Model
certain
12
amount of
heavy
time.
duck gun. I'm shooting out of it every day.
So what made last call? There was something about the last call that made the double shot come out next. Was it the marketing guy may be able to say, hey, I know why, but
Cost.
cost.
Yeah, that's a big piece of it.
Yeah.
So we wanted to establish that best of the best.
Right. First.
But then there's also the idea that not everybody's going to spend $5 a shot for waterfowl hunting. And so it just made sense to take some of that technology and put it in a product that is more affordable, or you can shoot more of without breaking the bank.
And I mean, 12 gauge full TSS loads are incredible, but it's probably overkill for most situations, right? So if you can lower your cost and still have just as effective load with like
I don't know that there's any such thing as overkill. I've met a lot of guys who are still blasting away with 10 gauges.
Hey, that's why we make this Drylock
that's right.
right here, right?
All those 10 gauge fans would argue with you there.
Yeah.
Like your dad shooting the 3.5, he probably doesn't need that
No.
half inch.
No.
We've got improvements in technology that make 3-inch equivalent or better than the old 3.5 inch today. But you can't convince somebody that there's anything like too much.
No,
So-
and we gave him a 20 gauge for Christmas 2 years ago. I think he has 3 shots out of it, and they were all out back of hunting camp.
Well, you know, like I said, being a 10 gauge aficionado myself, man. I mean, for geese, there's nothing like a 10, right? That's when I shoot one. You know, and that's
You're one of those, huh?
Well, man, I've been hunting them so long that it just nothing like the impact of a 10 gauge on a goose.
Or
It's
on a
just,
hunter.
You know, well, I mean, like,
Hey, I'm just-
a semi-auto 10.
this is all in fun.
It's not bad. I mean, I got a Browning gold light, and it ain't light at all. It's still a 10-pound gun, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't kick any more than your average 3-inch 12
Yep.
that weighs 7
Yeah, that's a
pounds.
great combo.
You're only exhausted after raising it, you know.
Well,
as
you
many
don't want to
times.
carry that thing like across the tundra or anything, man. You know. I mean,
Yeah.
It must be something with the Johns.
I got specific
Johnny
thing-
Walker,
way I use it.
local volunteer Johnny Walker still shoots.
Yeah.
That's what he shoots. That
I
same
mean,
10
you
gauge.
know, I shoot a lot of geese, you know, in Arkansas, but I've got a blind basically that I'll hunt geese out of in a field all the time, and that's when I take that 10 gauge out there. I'm not hoofing that thing all over the place.
Yeah. Well, we love 10 gauge users, and we're the biggest producer of 10 gauge, I think, now.
But so
There's a lot
not
of
too
people
many
that have
left.
backed out of that market,
Yeah.
both on the gun and ammo side, and we definitely are committed to providing ammo for those guys that want to use 10 gauge.
Yeah, that's right. The 10 gauge is really losing to where you've only got a handful of manufacturers anymore for 10 gauge ammo.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, we watch it pretty closely to make sure that we always have it in stock. So we've got a loader dedicated to it that we install in the factory when we need to go run it. Pull it
And
back out, and
I've shot
set
those
it
10
to the
gauge
side
BBs
until we
quite a
need it
bit
again.
in the Drylock, and it's a devastating load, man. I'm gonna tell you, on a damn spec at 40 yards. I mean, that's a crusher.
It's a beast of a shell.
Yes, it is.
So, do you have any of the just straight TSS? I mean, I'd hate to say cut up in a TSS shell, but did you bring any with you?
yeah,
I think there's some
Right
live ones there.
these are 7s and these are 9s. You want to see the little 9s again?
Whatever you want. I don't want to ask you to cut one of these. I mean, but
It's okay. We can make more, right?
I just think it would be very
I
cool
think
to
they can
see
get more.
what's.
It's really up to you, because we were going to leave the samples behind for you to hunt with.
Hold
So
on. Hold on. Let me give me that final pass box down there.
if you're willing to cut one of your shells open, we'll do
You
it.
got
Yeah.
the knife
yeah.
still.
I think it's worth it for the people to be able to see what a true TSS looks like on the
sure.
inside.
I mean, you're talking about a number 9 payload. That's a lot of pellets.
You got your knife still. Oh, there it is. Thank you.
While we are allowing him to cut this at his own risk, for the benefit and the sake of all of us here at Ducks Unlimited,
No liability
watching the
involved here.
podcast worldwide.
Have you ever had anyone bleed on camera here?
No, but I'm not like the rest of the hosts.
Winchester employees bleed red. Let me tell you.
Just don't. hey, just don't tell Dave Marone. It'll be all right.
No, not yet. But I think it's
For folks at home, he is a trained professional. He has extensive
I just
background
sharpened
in
that knife,
engineering.
so I'm hoping it's sharp enough. It seems like it has been so far.
9 rotations, John. We're going to get
Is
it.
that it? 9 rotation?
I don't know.
It's like using a dull can opener. You just got to keep going around.
Yeah, that's not a very good knife. It's just it does its job. Though.
While he's doing that, the Magnum Dove.
Yeah.
This one's sitting here.
So
This-
you may
this is
notice a
awesome
trend here of a lot of mixed shot
There it
sizes.
goes.
Oh,
And you're talking about a lot of shot about to come out of this thing.
It is.
You're gonna have it. It's gonna be a permanent fixture of the podcast.
The podcast
set.
studio.
Yeah, well, it's worth it.
Is that showing up on camera? Maybe
Here, you want to dump
brush it onto the
this?
plate.
Dump this over on the tin sign.
Yeah, that's to me has always been the huge advantage of the TSS is the ability to use very small shot sizes that increases your pellet count by tenfold. You know, my grandfather was always an advocate for number 9s for quail loads, right? Because he wanted to use the smallest shot he could to get more shot in the pattern.
Yeah. It doesn't take a whole lot to bring down a quail.
Well, it doesn't.
So lead number 9 will work great for them.
It will.
For a duck or goose, you
and
got
for
to
a
step it
dove
up to
too, right?
tungsten.
I mean, you got 7.5, 9 blend and the Magnum Dove.
So back to that, you'll see a trend of several different blended or variety shots in one shell. It makes sense to put it into a dove load too. Same thing. If you're debating on whether you need 7.5s, 8s, 9s, we've got one now has 7.5s and 9s, so you get the benefits of both.
Right.
Back to that compromise. So a lot of pellets in your pattern, but you still have the heft of the 7.5s for those further birds. Make sure you got enough energy to knock them down. And that is it. The name describes it. It's a Magnum load. That's what you want if you really want to get your limit. It's got big payload. It's got high velocity, and it's just built to be like the ultimate dove load.
That's an 1.25 ounce load. I mean, you could, not too many doves are going to fly through that swarm. Really, out of that deal.
And as you know, dove season's fastly approaching.
We're right on the cusp of it.
Right on the cusp of it here in Tennessee. I mean, maybe the hottest dove shell in the market right now. I mean,
I would think.
Well, we were talking at lunch how you can't even find it right now.
No, and I've got someone
blew away our
somewhere.
expectations. That's why that box is empty. We didn't have any full ones to bring down today.
They didn't have any shells.
I got really excited when I saw this box.
I got 2 cases in my office. As a matter of fact,
all right.
on the road.
When this is over, y'all distract John for a little bit. Get him in here. I'm going to go steal one of them. But yeah, it caught my eye before I told y'all I ordered it a couple weeks ago and don't have it yet. But that's the Magnum Dove, and then that blended really was something that caught my eye. And I was really excited to see the high brass load and see what happens with it. Is
there going to be a 28 gauge Magnum Dove?
Not this year, but
in the future.
We'll keep that in mind. Yeah.
I'm a 28 fan.
Likewise.
I love the 10 gauge. I love the 28, right? So it's kind of an anomaly that, I like the smaller guns. But my grandfather, he shot a 28 for quail. So I was exposed to it at a very young age, and I realized how effective that gun is, from, early on. So it's one of my favorites. And I think that would be a great addition to that.
Yeah, we've actually had a lot of new products in the 28 gauge bore diameter here in the last 3 years, probably.
Yeah, I mean, it started with really the introduction of 28 gauge 3-inch, right? So we have waterfowl load, pheasant load. We have a dove load in 28 gauge 3-inch as well. It's not Magnum Dove, but so we have a bismuth offering.
And of course,
too.
you got 28 gauge AA's, right, which work great for dove and quail.
We just talked about that at lunch too.
Yeah.
Why the dove load? What? I mean, I know, but you don't. It's not. People don't buy that, and I guess they do kind of buy it in bulk. But why spend? Why did Winchester see a need in the dove world to put the kind of technology y'all did behind this one?
Well,
yeah,
I was going to say, we have a plant in Oxford, Mississippi, and they asked for it. They said, "Hey, we need you guys to build us a high brass Magnum Dove load." That's what they like to shoot, and
we've got some big customers that are Texas-based, and they feel likewise. I mean, we all the time are trying to figure out what the ultimate dove load is for Texas, because that's similar to here. I think there's a pocket here where dove hunting is really taken seriously. Statewide, Texas is nuts about doves and dove leases, and they hunt them like crazy. And we move a lot of product to that end user. And so it was important for us to find a way to just keep innovating. We've got this culture where we're always tweaking things and looking for ways to improve. And so this is just another, step in that direction of trying to find the ultimate dove load and make sure we're giving people what they want.
Another point about Texas is that, unlike here, it's the white-winged dove. The white-winged dove is a much bigger bird, and, it just takes more to bring them down. So I think that's another reason why you're seeing a big push for a load like that in Texas.
Yep.
Yeah, well, it's guaranteed not to disappoint as long as you can find it.
I'm looking forward to shooting some. Let's put it that way, because I have a feeling it's going to be like a death race.
Yeah, just a couple more days. We're almost there.
And I'll be in Texas. We leave Sunday.
Awesome.
I'll be up near Anson, which is a little northwest of Abilene.
Well, I think that's interesting because when I go and buy dove loads, most of the time I spend a little time kind of looking and seeing. But this year it was kind of harder to find. And then this one caught my eye more than anything else has in a long time because of the blend and just the Magnum Dove. Like the word Magnum and Dove just don't go together. And so that's what.
Yeah, that's right. That catches your eye.
I was like, Magnum Dove.
Yeah.
We shooting pigeons? I mean,
it gets back to that. Is there too much?
Right. I don't think so.
Too much money? Too much shot shell power?
Is it
There's no such
faster
thing.
than most?
Yeah, I mean, that's running at 1,400 feet per second.
That's hot
Yeah.
load.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I
That
thought.
was what they would call like an international trap load.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like your standard
Yeah.
target load's around 1125, 1140 feet per second. And so you're quite a bit faster than that. That's higher than even our sporting clay loads that are around 1350.
Well,
So it's really moving, which that's important because
so I only need
if
one
you've
box
got-
this week, right?
Well, I haven't seen you shoot yet.
I could sell you one, Jimbo.
That
for like
velocity
$40.
does
Well,
give you
based on
advantage,
this, I may only need one, John.
That's right. I know where to find some.
So by moving it fast, it takes some of the questioning out of your lead. If
Right.
you've got a crossing bird like you often do with doves, trying to figure out where to hold and point your gun can be tricky. And the faster it is, the less leads required and the more you're going to hit birds.
Because a lot of people lock on that front, right?
Yeah.
They try to get the front of that bird.
Historically, I think the dove is taking more shells per dove killed than any other bird there is, right? So,
For sure.
If you have a 9-year-old or a son that shoots with you, you can guarantee that.
Yeah, boxes per dove, right?
Oh,
I would
not
bet
doves per box.
most of those misses aren't in front of the dove.
No,
And so
they're
by
behind
increasing velocity, you're just helping get that shot up there a little further and hopefully hit the bird.
yeah, and explaining to a young person that when the dove dips, it's not because you got close to it. They just do that.
They just do that.
Dad, I
Yeah.
hit it. It dipped. No, it didn't. That's just how they fly, buddy.
That's a morning dove for you.
Oh yeah. Well, what's the season look like for y'all? When does the waterfowling buy really take off for y'all? And y'all kind of see, because for y'all, I guess, I know you launched this summer. We got to see firsthand of it at DUX, our sportsman show in August. But when do you really see what all that hard work really takes off? When's the happy days around Winchester?
We're in them.
Yeah, I
In
would
the
say
heart?
Yeah.
people are starting to buy them now. We're getting feedback from our customers about these new products and how they're starting to move, in the early seasons. So, yeah.
Yeah,
we're
fortunately, people have kind of been trained by some of the major retailers to look ahead and be planning for duck season. And so even though we've still got a ways, people are excited about it. And there's a lot of big waterfowl retailers that have, their parking lot sales or festivals, and they're doing free shipping and discounts. We've got a rebate right now.
Oh, what?
We've got a cashback rebate
Yeah.
on
Rebate.
waterfowl.
I haven't
Yes.
heard a rebate in a long
That's right.
time.
Exciting time. So it really is a good time to be thinking ahead,
Absolutely.
and buying your shells, and the manufacturer and the retailers are rewarding people for doing that.
Getting out ahead of it. And I think that whole, you got to get them now, that mentality has not gone away for a while.
No. And you think about it, I mean, you got the big duck season is opening up throughout the north here in September. You got, a big one, that I really love is early teal. Right.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, y'all got the expert teal steel loads. I mean,
Yep.
you've got steel game and target. I mean, y'all are really covering the entire waterfowling space, really, with with the loadings you have now.
Yeah, but it's tough to find a load that's not suited for your exact hunting situation, isn't it?
Oh, y'all have it.
We try.
I mean, that's
Yep.
what's
The toughest thing is figuring out which one it is. And so we're trying to do more of this to educate people on what the differences are, so they're a little less confused when they end up at the store and they see those different options. And we've got some great resources online too. We've got one that's about to drop. It's a whole video series where we do a bunch of testing on patterns and ballistics gel and talk through those features and benefits and help people figure out what product is right for them. And we've got some resources like this little pamphlet that we've got here that goes through each of our waterfowl products, and that's available online. But we've also been handing it out at a bunch of consumer shows and retail events just to try to get people aware of, what we have and what's the best fit for them.
Absolutely. So, anything else you guys want to announce to the world today while you're in here with us? Any exciting thing? Anything you can? I mean, we covered
a lot.
We have covered a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the only other thing before we wrap up is just to remind everybody that DU is making a difference in this space, and we're the beneficiaries of that. As an ammo maker, as a hunter, we get to, reap the rewards for all the work that DU is doing. And so we thank you guys for all the work you do to spread the message, to gain membership, to raise dollars, and we're proud to be one of those people that's contributing to that pot of money to help you reach your goals. And like you said, it's been a long time. We've been partners at a high level. We're really proud of the fact that we're the official ammunition of Ducks Unlimited. I don't know if they can see that.
Yeah, they're on the side of the box.
We got a nice duck head on most of our waterfowl boxes just to recognize what you guys are doing for that waterfowl space. And thank you for that.
Well, we thank y'all. And that real estate's prime. And it means the world to us here at Ducks Unlimited to have, it's as big as the Winchester logo on top. And I know that says a lot for what you guys mean to us at DU and what we hopefully mean to y'all and this partnership that's been, just so we'll say 30-ish years old.
Somewhere between 30 and 85.
85.
30 plus.
30 plus years old. This shows the impact and the conservation minds that you all have and making great shells for our members and supporters is what y'all do, and we try to provide that habitat so that people can enjoy taking these shells out and putting them to use every fall when the cooler temps. I don't know if y'all brought them today, but this morning was cool.
It's gorgeous out.
I tell you what,
if you're an outdoorsman, if you're a hunter, that first cool morning, this is the first year I can remember where I walked out this morning and it was, I felt fall and I was like, it's still August.
Yeah, it was really, you could have wore a light jacket this morning and for August, and around here, pretty unheard of. So hopefully that it means that we're going to have a real winter.
So if you haven't bought your Blue Rocket shells yet, teal season is coming, dove season's coming. Check out this Magnum Dove. I'm going to take one box to the field Monday, September 1st in the afternoon because the guys told me that's all I needed.
That's all you need is one box.
I can't wait to hear the report.
15 shots.
I only have one box I'm stealing from John here in just a minute.
He needs the other 19.
I do.
Well, one's case of 12, one's 20, right? So I got it covered.
I only bought 20 gauge. But before we close out, we kind of bounce around a little bit. Give us a real quick rundown. Let's start at expert and just give people just a very quick, hey, this is what it is, and in the price range real fast. Start from the top, bottom, and let's work to the top.
Yeah, I mean, start with expert. That's your best value. Legendary performance, reliable. Year after year, going to bring down ducks. You're in there for $200 a case. Depending on load specs, sometimes less, right? Especially with the rebate on right now, you can get under there. Then Drylock precision. Ground plated steel shot, highly water resistant. You have the Drylock wad, sealed primer, plated shot. Right, it's got all the bells and whistles. It's been around for 30 plus years. Again, legendary waterfowl load.
Absolutely.
So now you're talking $25-$30 a box. We have so many load specs in there. You can get up to in 10 gauge $45 a box or so, depending on retailer. Then next step up would be final pass. So much like Drylock again, precision ground steel shot, plated. You have copper plated shot, which is the half size shots. Then the zinc plated shots, the standard size shots. Again, Drylock wad, sealed primer, and blended payloads. That's the big difference, right? You have the two different shot sizes blended in there. That's going to be about $30 a box. So then last call double shot.
The newest.
One of the newest, final pass and last call double shot, brand new this year. Last call double shot is stacked steel and TSS, that high density 18 gram per cc tungsten shot TSS shot. So about 30% of the pellet count will be the TSS fills out those patterns, and you're talking about, $50 for a box of 25. So $2 a shot. Now, it's pricey, but the performance is there. You're getting TSS performance.
More efficient.
Yeah. So, we skipped over bismuth.
Probably good.
Yeah. Bismuth is going to be really tough to
It's
come
hard
by.
to
We didn't
come
even
by,
talk
right?
about that. Yeah. Bismuth is going to be, we have enough bismuth for this year. But next year, it's really uncertain right now just because of bismuth shot availability. All of that is imported to the U.S. and it's going to be tough to manufacture bismuth next year. So, that's a performance level that's, right on par with last call double shot. Maybe arguably a little bit better. But it's going to be tough to find. So if you're a current,
It can't be better if you can't find it.
that's right.
Yeah, that's it.
So if you're shooting bismuth now and you want to keep shooting it, take advantage of that rebate. It's rebate eligible, and stock up.
That's what's going to happen too.
Likely. Yeah. Yeah.
Those guys that have to have it are going to.
Yeah, they're going to take it all.
So it's true.
Right.
So it's true. This is not.
Oh yeah. It's not.
This is not the old.
Smokes. It's not.
The smoke signals. Like
Right.
I was laughing with my dad the other day. I said, "Look, are these bismuths? Is this what it felt like in the lead world? Right? Like when lead was going away."
Lead never went away. 'Cause I was there.
lead
right?
was just
When you
regulated,
couldn't
right?
shoot it,
So,
when it was
yeah.
You couldn't
regulated
shoot it
more,
anymore at Waterfowl.
Right?
That was
At
it.
Waterfowl,
Yeah.
right?
We just can't get bismuth.
Do you think we'll
And-
ever get bismuth again?
I do. Yeah. I think things will change, but I don't know when. We'd be guessing.
Right.
So you can still get it. The problem is the price doesn't make sense. You might as well buy tungsten.
Right.
So
So
yeah. So that
With
leads
that-
us to
with
last
that-
call, TSS. That's the highest performing waterfowl load on the market. You can't beat it. It's 100% TSS shot. Again, that 18 gram per cc density shot.
will you ever make a 6 or an 8? I've always wondered that. Why don't somebody just put 6 shells in a box?
6 shells or number 6 shot?
Just 6 shells.
6 shells.
That's all you need for a limit, Jimbo.
That would be kind of funny though,
I could
right?
probably shove 6 20 gauge shells in that 12 gauge box for you.
At the rate inflation is going, maybe you'll start buying shells one at a time.
I got one shell.
Oh, well, it's all here.
And from a company that's owned and operated in America, has thousands of employees who are your neighbors, your friends, your family, and who love DU and the same pastimes. And so we hope that people choose to support the companies that support them and the things they're passionate about.
Made in the USA.
Yeah, like I
says it
said,
right
y'all
here.
got a plant right here in Oxford down the road.
That's right.
Really from Memphis here.
Yep. Yeah, we have 3 facilities, manufacturing in the U.S. We have the East Alton, Illinois shot shell facility, Oxford, Mississippi, which is, rifle, pistol, rimfire. We operate the Lake City Army ammunition plant out in Independence, Missouri. That's where all the 5.56, 223, 7.62 NATO comes from. We support the warfighter out of that facility. And then we have a recently acquired facility in Manitowoc, Wisconsin that does centerfire rifle and pistol. And they have some unique capabilities to do some of the specialty centerfire rifle cartridges, which is really exciting for us. So we'll see better availability of some of those more obscure or lesser known centerfire rifle cartridges in the near future, which is great. So
Oh yeah, that's cool. And Winchester's got a bunch of old cool rifles and all those calibers, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, in addition to those 4 plants, we've also got our white flyer plants. I think there's 5 of those across the country.
Yep.
And so when you're practicing for duck season, pick up a white flyer target. Make the best clay birds there are, and they'll break even better than ducks.
Yeah, that's right.
Make you feel good about shooting, give you some confidence going into the season.
Wow. Well, we can't thank y'all enough for making the trip into this into the studio and just spending time with us and telling people what they want to hear. I think that's educating the waterfowl hunters on the shell and what they're shooting and understanding what they're shooting is a big deal today. And a lot of people don't take the time to really to either pattern their gun or even know what they're shooting. They just go and buy based on marketing or based on whatever. But when you sit down and you really understand what you're shooting, it says a lot about Winchester and the fact that y'all took the time to explain each one of these shells and what it can do and with somebody that knows what they're doing behind a shotgun, it goes a long way. And it means the world to us here at Ducks Unlimited to see the Winchester brand when we walk around the office, and to have the legendary brands that have been partners with us for so long. It just means a lot to us, and it makes us proud. And we thank y'all enough for coming down and spending time with us today and explaining this.
Yeah, we appreciate the opportunity. It's been great.
And I'm really excited. I mean, I think I'm really more excited that we're on the edge. We're right on the verge of being able to.
It's been a long summer.
It has, and it's been hot. And when that cold hits every fall, it gets you just fired up and to sit here.
I imagine the first speckled bellies are cruising through Arkansas right now.
Absolutely, yeah. And teal season's 2.5 weeks away for most in Arkansas.
September 20, I believe, in this part of the world is when it's going to open. It's short season this year, but hopefully the numbers are up. We'll be back to 16.
Well, Jimmy, Nathan, thank y'all. Appreciate it. So proud to have Winchester just ride along with the Ducks Unlimited brand, and it means so much to us. And we're looking forward to. I can't wait to. We need to follow up and do this again in the spring.
Yeah,
and let's hear about the last call, the double shot, and see in the final pass, and let's hear because y'all are going to get a lot of stories, and hopefully you'll get a lot of stories out of us, and talk about the day I took 6 TSS shells out with me and didn't come home with the duck.
And 15 Magnum Doves.
15. Hey, there may be some pigeons. I may need those extra 10 for some pigeons that fly by. But from all of us here at Ducks Unlimited, thanks again for listening to us on the Ducks Unlimited podcast. I'm Jimbo Robinson. Catch us on the next one.
Thank you for listening to the DU Podcast, sponsored by Purina Pro Plan, the official performance dog food of Ducks Unlimited. Purina Pro Plan, always advancing. Also proudly sponsored by Bird Dog Whiskey and Cocktails. Whether you're winding down with your best friend or celebrating with your favorite crew, Bird Dog brings award-winning flavor to every moment. Enjoy responsibly. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the show, and visit ducks.org/DU Podcast. Opinions expressed by guests do not necessarily reflect those of Ducks Unlimited. Until next time, stay tuned to the Ducks.